think we're still having few of the tables left. Esteemed guests, business leaders, government officials, and the distinguished delegates, it's an absolute honor to welcome you all to this pivotal moment. The official launch of USDCI and its India chapter. Today we are not just celebrating an event, we are witnessing the beginning of a transformative movement that will reshape the way trade, investments, and global partnerships evolve in the years to come. USDCI was born recently post the executive orders of President Donald Trump to be the USAID to be dismantled. Post dismantling of USAID, USDCI was expressly formed for the gap to be filled that was left by dismantling or scaling down of USAID. But in a restructured way. As USAID funded projects in various countries are being scaled down, or some of them stalled, we recognize the urgent need for a self-sustaining economic model that does not rely on grants or traditional aid. So how different is USDCI? USDCI is going to replace the traditional aid model to social investments. I would come to the vision of USDCI. Our mission is clear. We are proud to launch USDCI India today. Though USDCI is based out of Texas, in Houston, Texas, the India chapter is the first country chapter that we are launching today. And the mission, if I reiterate, is to transition from aid dependency to a model driven by social investments, structured loans, and public-private partnerships. Instead of relying on foreign assistance, we bring together the corporates, the governments, and the financial institutions to fund and operate these projects globally and make it a sustainable ecosystem rather than depending on the aids and foreign aids, ensuring long-term economic impact and self-reliance and self-sufficiency. I would like to add that USDCI is not just another organization. It's not just another organization. It's a global initiative that recognizes the power of economic engagement over traditional financial assistance. Our mission is to create opportunities, build bridges between economies, and facilitate bilateral trade, investment, and industrial collaboration between the nations. As all of you are aware that USAID has its presence for over more than 130 countries of the world, and about $20 billion spent annually, and about 140 million people across the globe directly impacted by the projects of and the initiatives of USAID. So with the styling of USAID, we saw that there is a very dire urgency to take up an active role in restoring the projects and all the good works the United States of America has been doing since the formation of USAID in 1962. And over 6 decades now, 140 million people impacting the lives. USDCI is going to take over these USAID projects, but in a different format. We will not be dependent on aid anymore, as President Donald Trump, does not believe in just aid. He believes instead of feeding a fish, he wants somebody to teach how to fish so that you can give a livelihood. So basically, our target is to fill that gap in those countries where USAID projects are stalled. We either will take over them, restore them, and in future, with the collaboration of governments across across the world, corporate entrepreneurs, and people in general, to contribute to the success of USGCI across the globe. These are few reasons I have pointed out why USGCI and why now. These, if you see the defining moments now, as of now, not just United States, but all over the world, the definition of economic empowerment is changing by leaps and bounds, and we are not limiting, as per Donald Trump. He doesn't believe in just aid, in empowerment. So that is the situation we are into, and the world is getting affected. And he loves business, India loves business, and we will do equal trade, and we will make sure that USGCI will. We already got more than about 40 plus countries, governments inviting USGCI to start the country specific chapters. And most of these countries are the target countries which we have identified among those 132 countries where USAID was present. So most of those projects we would be taking over, but taking over those projects or operating is not possible without the involvement of US government, the respective host nations where they have those projects, plus policymakers, and the corporate world has to come with social investments. And we can also, we will also welcome the CSR funding from those corporate. And if they are purely with an intention to do business, we have the open, we'll welcome them with open arms wide, because we need to give them a deal where they can do investment that will create a social impact investments or social investments. And quote unquote, there'll be no aid, will empower the people across the globe. Going forward, these are the key focus areas of USGCI. Though these were part of the USAID also, but we have, because over 6 decades, USGCI has been operating in a traditional way, USAID. So now we will be incorporating quite new things. USGCI will have transparency. We are going to include AI and blockchain for people to know, even if somebody is donating or the corporate is involving with their social investments. They will have a clear, transparent modus operandi of USGCI, how the funds, who are the stakeholders, or the governments, the host countries, United States, and the corporate who are participating with their social investments or CSR, everything will be transparent, because as you might have seen, there were a lot of corruption and bribes and a lot of malpractices across the operations of USAID, which President Donald Trump has highlighted them, and he told that because of this we are dismantling USAID, right, Mr. Makbuns? So these were the justifications, and yes, they quite make sense, because there were a lot of mismanagement, and the funds were not utilized properly, and the benefit to the end users were not going. So because of that, they are stalled. Now, the criticality of why we have to save USAID projects as of now is there is a threat. If United States and the biggest democracy like India, they won't come forward, the projects that are left, the infrastructure that was created putting billions of dollars across the globe, who will take it over? Just a thought. Believe me, you all know the adversaries of United States of America and India are the same. So don't be surprised that these projects in all these countries would be taken over by countries who are not very good friends of either India or United States. So USGCI's initiative is motivated on one hand to stop that aid-based programs. On the other hand, we want to encourage the corporate to participate with their social investments, and we would request all the hosting countries as well as the government of United States and the corporate to shell with seeds. So these are the objectives, and the mission is very clear: no aid, empowerment, economic empowerment. The threat, what I was talking about, I would want to give you some examples. Like USAID has created an infrastructure of a hospital or an HIV, facility. If we abandon or dismantle it, somebody has to take the ownership. There has to be a transition. Our request and urge is we are coming forward as an organization, but it is not possible without including all the stakeholders, including the citizens of the biggest two democracies of India and United States. We would request the corporate to come forward and behold these projects in which billions of dollars have been invested. We need to take it and operate it in a model which is driven by social investment rather than aid-based, traditional aid-based investment. So there are a lot of critical impacts that the styling of these projects have taken place.